All right, everyone, it's the Grim Lord here, and this is, yes, the moment you guys have really been waiting for. Now, I know Empowered got a lot of attention, but you guys want Eerie. And don't worry, because we're doing Vampirella Comics Magazine next week. So, more horror is coming your way, and I look at the views, you guys are actually watching these quite a bit. So, we aim to please here. We don't always get things when we want, because of sleep problems and things, and just all kinds of crap. I'll be on Unison for the rest of my life. Anyway, we're going to try to continue this and make this a tradition. So it's going to be something we do every week, is horror anthologies. I love these things. You love these things. Let's keep them going. Let's also make this an archive for these classic 1950s pulp books, because I think YouTube could use that, don't you? All right. This issue, the Swamp God Strikes. It's more like a T-Rex, but yeah. Like some demoniacal decoration for that blank wall in your padded cell? Then put those sharp claws to good use and clip out this latest weird work from Eerie's Monster Gallery. Number 4, The Mummy. Believing in literal resurrection of the body, ancient Egyptians carefully mummified and entombed their remains. The soul would depart for judgment by Osiris, but the life spirit, or Ka, would stalk the tomb and, should it be violated, re-enter the mummified corpse, galvanating it to terrible vengeance. High Priestess of Thoth, god of magic, could also call forth the Ka, animated dead, to serve their evil ends, to be stopped only by counterspells from the Book of the Dead. Interesting, but it's actually Anubis that was in charge of judgment. Eerie, number 5. Of course, we have Eugene Cullen, Reed Crandall, Steve Ditko, Frank Frazetta, Rocco Mester, I'm not familiar with that man's name, Mastroserio, Gray Morrow, Joe Orlando, John Severin, Jay Tacey, Angelo Torres, Alex Toth, of course, Al Williamson, and Wallace Wood. The greats, guys, the greats. Monster Gallery, The Mummy Stalks. No, let's do this proper. Monster Gallery, mummy lore in store for patrons of our Shriek Showcase. The Mummy Stalks. Across 3,000 years, death reaches into a British museum. The jungle, shrunken head fanciers find a curse attached. Black magic, a bit of weird wizardry conjured up by Cousin Eerie. A matter of routine, the supernatural interrupts George Simmons' well-ordered life. Dr. Griswold's file. The good doctor solves money problems by looking under Z for zombie. The Swamp God. Out of prehistory steps a man-eating horror. Vampire Slayer. Baron Alexei pounds his point home with dealing with the undead. So this is about 47 pages. These are shorter stories. There's just more of them. Dear Cousin Eerie. Let's see. See anybody famous or anybody you know? Never know. Come on, culture vultures. Cousin Eerie's gonna broaden your brain with a trip to the museum. Sounds dull? Don't be too sure, because in this particular museum, the mummy stalks. This wing's a fearful place by night. No matter how many times I make these rounds, it still gives me the shivers. Can't be! The mummy's gone from the sarcophagus! Yeah! Next day. This is how I found him, Inspector. Sprawled in front of the sarcophagus of Harriet Ankneb. All my years at Scotland Yard, never saw a body so mangled as this. King Harriet, eh? I suppose there's some kind of curse. The press would love that. To my knowledge, Inspector Nigel, there's no curse connected with Harriet Ankneb, but he's one of the greatest prizes of the museum. Bit unusual to find one this well preserved, isn't it, Professor? It's remarkable. Made its discovery a milestone in archaeology. The whole circumstances around Harriet are remarkable. No archaeological expedition found his tomb, but a crew of engineers blasting a dam site. It was far removed from any burial grounds, unmarked, totally obscured, completely hidden. Native workers fled the scene and could not be persuaded to return until long after the mummy had been shipped to England. It was my good fortune to have been digging some miles to the south. I was called upon to inspect the tomb. It was singular. No inscriptions on the walls, no effects of the deceased, nothing common to an Egyptian tomb. Not even a soul door for the departing spirit. Just a sarcophagus bearing Herod's name. But the unconventionalities of the tomb were forgotten when I pried open the sarcophagus. The marvels of Egyptian embalming aside, the preservation was fantastic. Like something buried for 100 years, not 3,000. The find of a century. That was almost a month ago. And now this killing. If there's some connection, Professor Bruce, rest assured we'll find it out. Sergeant, I want a man on duty in this wing at all times. You take the evening watch. Young Soames will relieve you at midnight. Aye, sir. I'll see how my squad is doing with their check of the grounds and the roof. By then the coroner may have something to tell us about the guard's body. If there is enough left of the corpse to tell him anything. Midnight. Ready to relieve you, Sergeant. I'm glad of it, my lad. Moonlight coming through these windows makes this Egyptian bric-a-brac cast some weird shadows. Puts a man on edge. Blast the sergeant anyway. Does he take me for a rookie can frighten? Still, the moonlight does make it less spooky. Next, I'll be seeing something behind every statue I pass. The arm! It wasn't like that before. No, dear God, no! Yeah! Morning. I've hunted in India. Seen men mauled by tigers. It wasn't this bad. He was just a boy. New to the force. You mustn't blame yourself, Inspector. The killings took place in my wing of the museum. I feel just as responsible as you. Tonight will be different. Tonight I'll take the late watch. I must insist you let me accompany you, Inspector. Windows locked from inside and untampered with. My men were posted outside. The killer has to be somewhere in the museum. And tonight we'll be waiting for him. Outside, a tower clock tolled 12 within the Egyptian wing. 2 sets of footsteps echoed on the marble floor. The moonlight provides a good deal of illumination. Should help with our task. Getting late. The killer may have been frightened off because there are 2 of... Nigel, the sarcophagus, good Lord! Werewolf! That's why they embalmed and entombed him. Herod was a werewolf! It was their way to get rid of him! Professor, for God's sake, get out of the way! They didn't know he could only be killed with silver. Run for it, Inspector! Thud! This cane has a silver handle! Thud! 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 The moonlight! We took him out of the tomb. The full moon's rays could hit him, transform him. A sudden stench of decay stung the nostrils of the 2 men. Stretched out on the floor before them, Harat Akneb was undergoing his last transformation. That's right, kiddies. The mummy was a werewolf. What does that make the daddy? Well, there's another story, and so's the one coming up next. Perk up your pointed little ears, merry monsters. Hear the sounds, the chatter and screech of tropical birds, the swishing stroke and hack of machetes, the whine and buzzing of gnats and mosquitoes, the low muttering and cursing of desperate men about to be pitted against a golfing horror in the jungle. You shouldn't have done it, Leo. Why'd you have to shoot the witch doctor? He was ready to bargain. Dutch is right. Them Shavantes ain't gonna let us get out of this jungle. You and your temper. Shut up, Wyatt. We've got a good start. No Indians hooking me out of the price these shrunken heads will bring in the city. The Amazon jungle, amid its destiny of unexplored greenness, the proud primitive Shavantes fish, hunt, battle, and sometimes mourn. The white men must pay. You will be avenged. Our hunting parties bar their flight to the river in their boat, but they flee north on foot. It does not matter. I still die in peace, for if our warriors cannot get them, the jungle shall. Ah, damn bugs, it's madness. We can't hack our way out of here. Not clear into Colombia. You hear me, Leo? We can't go on like this. At least we gotta stop, rest, and wind up with our heads on a Shavante spear, shriveled like the ones in this bag. Let go and keep moving, Wyatt. You hear me? I said go! Walk! Yeah! Bushmaster! Those babies are deadly. No snakes is more venomous. Thwack! Leo, Dutch, do something. You gotta help me. There must be something. Why, sure, Wyatt, there's always something. Like this! Blam! Leo! The jungle's vastness swallowed the sound of the shot. Birds settled back on their perches and resumed their whistles and calls. Leo pushed forward, not looking back. Did you have to do that? Couldn't we have... No. In the jungle, one mistake and you're finished. What do you think them Indians are taking their time for? Only this jungle ain't getting me. The mocking chatter of monkeys accompanying each muscle-torturing swing of their machetes. Hours drained by as they inched through the dark undergrowth until... What now? Too wide to jump. Doesn't look swift. Start across. We can wait it. Not likely, Leo. Been thinking on what you said about the jungle. Let's see how it works out with you going first. Never were too trusting, eh, Dutch? All right, here goes nothing. As Dutch hit the surface of the water, the stream around him seemed to come to life with frothing, boiling, seething with frantic, terrible motion. Yeah! Piranhas! Ought to look before you leap, Dutch. They'll strip a man clean of flesh in minutes. The vicious tide of cannibal fish swept over their prey, turning the foaming water into a fountain of crimson. Good old Dutch! Kept 'em busy long enough for me to make it across. Ain't nothing stopping me now. Somewhere above the ocean of trees and plants surrounding Leo, the afternoon sun pulsed brightly, its heat filtering down through layers of leaves and shade. He, got it made. Just keep chopping away. I'll be in the clear in no time. The dankness grew more intense. A cloud of mosquitoes hovered constantly around Leo's head, their never-ending buzzing gradually becoming more and more acute to his ears. Blasted vines seemed to get tougher, thicker, hard to chop through. Perspiration beaded thick on his forehead, and then rushed in sticky rivulets down his face, splashing in his eyes and onto his already soaked, wretchedly clinging shirt. Saw it! Never saw anything like this! Ruined my damn machete! Each step became torturous and difficult. The foliage twisted and clung, snagging and pulling, capturing now a foot, now a leg, now an arm. Can hardly move in this stuff. Better back up, find the trail through. Leo turned to go back, pulling more vines constrictingly tight. Each twist, each pull seemed to bring him in contact with one more grasping, verdant runner. I can't move. Let go. Let me out of here. Let me out! The sack dropped from his hand as Leo fought and flailed at the entangling green tendrils, hopelessly pulling the web of vegetation tighter and tighter. No! Choking! Can't breathe! Ah! 1 hour later, a Chavantes hunting party stared in silence at Leo. A slight breeze caught in the vines to stir the body puppet-like. Somewhere the witch doctor could be satisfied. The jungle had not failed him. Poor Leo. Shouldn't have let his personal life get so entangled. I've heard of guys being stuck with clinging vines, but this is ridiculous. Oh well, since Leo's all tied up, better take your machete and chop into my next terror tale. Famous monsters speak, Karloff tells you. Tales of mystery and imagination. Nightmare, anyone? Shock. Horror. The House of Fright. Tales of Horror. Drop Dead. Classic Tales of Terror. Spike Jones. And Hi-Fi. Interesting. Themes from horror movies. Sleep No More. Ghosts and Horror Stories. Music for Robots. Oh, might like that one. The War of the Worlds. Europe. During the Dark Ages and the descending twilight, an aged traveler pauses into his journey. I see the wizard Valdar. Is it here he works his arts? Our ruler's court magician. Seek him not, ancient one. Few are so powerful, none more evil. No sense in waiting around, fellow fiends. There's some nefarious necromancy underground in the castle ahead, and you'll want to be on hand for some sinister sorcery as Valdar stretches to the limit of his powers of black magic. Behold the powers of the unknown unleashed, uncontrollable, except by me. How long must we be bored by this petty trickster? I grow tired of his arrogance. I hear the whispers of disbelief. Watch then, fool, and learn. Learn of the powers of Valdar. Learn the lesson of all who doubt. The price of knowledge comes high. And must be paid. The performance is over. Never were my talents honed to a finer edge than now. The ultimate achievement must come tonight. Why, hurry, Valdar. Surely we've not seen all your magic. What of your spells and charms and love potions?
How dare you lay hands on my person? Away! Think my favors are to be granted to every lady-in-waiting and chambermaid?
Valdar, please!
Why settle for the affections of anyone from this court when I can choose from the ages? I'm ready. I can feel it! Simon! You lout, arise! We've business to attend. In the crypts!
Master, perhaps we shouldn't. We've no right to disturb the sleep of the dead.
Right is what my magic makes it, dolt, and the dead but objects for our use. Too long have I stayed my skills performing like a jester for the fools of the court. Tonight, Simon, I enact the supreme sorcery, the raising of the dead. Is this the use to which I put the skills I taught you, Valdar? Shame! You, after all these years, you were too talented an apprentice to so abuse our art. I did not raise you, educate you for evil such as this. You taught me well, old one. I've since become your equal, and tonight I'll prove you better. Heed me, Valdar. Abandon this course on which your ambition leads. You cannot know the consequences. Think I'm still cringing, apprentice? I'm equal to any task of necromancy, old man. Feel my power! You have great skill, Valdar. If only you had great reason. Let the dead rest. Return to the path my teachings led you. I know whereof I speak, Valdar. I know whereof I speak, Valdar. The reawakened dead are not to be controlled, their evil not to be overcome. Heed me! Enough, ancient babbler! Even as you ward off my spells, so do I turn away yours. We've played enough games. I have business in the crypts. I raised you like a son, Valdar. Does your mad scheme make you deaf? Come back! Don't do it! Master, perhaps the old man is right. He is right to fear my power, but his words will not stop my proving it. The old man's shouts and warnings are left far behind as Valdar's touch guides him deep into the tomb's musty dankness. This is the one, Lady Rowena. Her beauty is legend, but she's been dead near 100 years. Laboriously, the long-decayed burden is transported from its resting place. Thick ox, it matters not. I can reclaim any remains. Tonight, one girl. Tonight, a dozen. Tonight, one girl. Tomorrow, a dozen men. A legion. An army. Up winding stone stairs, through silent arched corridors to the sinister gloom of the sorcerer's chambers. Minstrels sang of the fair flesh that rounded these bones. Now I'll call it up for our century to behold. Then, from the darkness beyond the candles, as stirring, say not the words, Valdar. Have my teachings ever been false? It's well you stayed, old fool, for now I'll show you the limits of your teaching, however true. Once started, it cannot be stopped. Don't do Regius Malium Shibioth Nostalix. Lath cum Gostanias Clegam arise! What say you now, ancient one? Will you sit at my feet and learn from your pupil? Yeah! What's this? Cease! Obey me! Master! She's killing me! Master! You've recalled the flesh, but did you think the long-dead brain would retain its knowledge and sanity? There are no spells for decayed minds! This creature has the strength of madness! Release him, witch! Will you devote the years to retraining the mindless beauty you have summoned? Could you control an army such as this as you visualized? Do you think me a fool without control, old man? What magic has created it can destroy! Mulgurk, Sunat, Nugmak, go! Yiveratsen to Vismodam Siga! Return! But my hands! What's happening to my hands? No, no, it can't be! No! I tried to warn you, stop you, but in your lust for power you wouldn't listen. Perhaps you might have guessed. You, whom I trained and raised from the dead as you did that poor girl.
Well, kiddies, that's the way the conjurer crumbles. Poor Valdar and his servant... Excuse me, try that one again. Poor Valdar, even his servant Simon, is pretty choked up about the whole thing, and you're gonna be choked up about my next yell yarn.
The werewolf. I was a teenage werewolf. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I was a teenage Frankenstein.
Revenge of Frankenstein, supernatural technicolor.
The Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, Karloff and the Mummy, the Mummy's Tomb, the Vampire Bat, the Undead, the Beast with 5 Fingers, Terror of Dracula, Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, Bela Lugosi chills you in The Human Monster, Lon Chaney is the Phantom of the Opera.
Remember, these are full film reels.
Greetings, ghouls. Find yourself in the same old rotten rut day in and day out, howling for a change of pace in your horror habit? Then put yourself in the place of George Simmons, who's about to discover life and even death can become a matter of routine. Like every other day, you leave the office at 5 o'clock, uttering the same tired phrases to everyone else leaving with you. See you, George. Good night, Harry. See you tomorrow. Like every other day, you buy the newspaper and elbow your way into the crush for the commuter train. Wonder how the Mets made out today. Like every other day, you buck the struggle for a seat and finally settle down with your paper on the Long Island train. Playing poker this Thursday, Phil? Not if you win like last week, George. You get off the train with the same crowd of commuters as always, walk past the same platform billboards as always. The cars in the same parking lot as always, needing a wash and polish as always. You clear the kids' toys from the drive and park as always, stride warily up the front porch as always. Automatically you twist the key in the lock, open the door, and step inside as always. Oh my God! Waves of shock pulse over you like the steaming heat rising from the ashen ground beneath your feet. This is insane, impossible. I should be inside my house. It just can't be. On trembling legs, you move forward into this nightmare that your mind denies even as your tingling senses proclaim its existence. Yeah! Lord, the horrible scream came from this way. You know you do not want to see the source of those terrible cries, yet you suddenly find your eyes riveted on a scene of barbarous horror. You fight a sweeping lash of nausea. It's a man. Those things are tearing him to pieces. The screaming fades, and somehow you gain courage to look up again. The monsters are gone. You move to the side of the mutilated form, once a man, somehow still breathing. Phil, oh Lord! Phil, what were those things? George, you here. You dead too. What are you saying? We're alive. We were on the train together. If you're alive, George, run. Escape. I was killed in car wreck, driving from station. This is the land of the dead. The words bring a chill to your body like an icicle in the heart. Raw panic strikes at you with sledgehammer blows as gross inhuman noises grow louder behind you. Run, George. Escape. Another one. Seize him. Get him. You run as you've never run before. Leg muscles quivering and stiffening with the effort. Lungs raw and throbbing with each tortured gasp. No. Leave me alone. It's a mistake. I'm alive. Alive! Unless I swim for it, they'll get me, sure. The water. Something stirring below. No. No! No! You fall to the scorched black cinders of earth. Your only escape route banished. Then suddenly you are gripped from all sides by a horrendously inhuman torch like 1,000 slithering worms. You kick, struggle, squirm, and scream. You're making a mistake. I'm alive, I tell you. Alive! They all think that at first, if you aren't dead now. You soon will be! No words, no actions have any effect on the brute creatures. Showing neither pity nor concern, only unnatural anticipation, they relentlessly bring you to the place of reckoning. Please, this can't be happening. I'm George Simmons. I'm alive! Above your head quivers the executioner's axe. Horrible in this damn place, not for what it will end, but for what it begins. Silence! This is not a time of bargaining, only of reckoning. There is nothing but silence save for the dry crackle of the ledger pages as they turn, and your own anguished sobs. His final entry's never been made. He shouldn't have been called. Not yet. It's a break in the routine. Dolts, your greedy bloodlusting caused this. Let the wretch go. The mists swirl and close in on you as release comes from the terrible grasp that held you, leaving only the fading echo of the hollow voice of doom. We'll have him for good soon enough. You get off the train with the same crowd of commuters as always, walk past the same platform billboards as always. What's the matter with me? Daydreaming like that. Must be the heat. You drive home and park as always, stride wearably up to the front porch as always. But my briefcase, hat, both gone. Automatically you start to twist the key in the lock as always. It's impossible. Has to be impossible. You freeze with your hand on the key, suddenly afraid to move. It's just your house. Only your house behind that door. Or is it? You can never be sure. And for the rest of your life, opening your front door, if ever you open it again, can never be a matter of routine. Heh. Looks to me like Georgie better get an apartment in town, unless he wants to grow old on the front porch. Try my next story. It'll make you grow old from fright. Top of the morbid to you fiendsies. Slink into my moldy mausoleum. Pull up a corpse and make yourself miserable while I bring to life the scream story of the Walking Dead and that vile Dr. Griswold's file. London. London's Big Ben boomed farewell to the hangman's victim on a chill October night in 1910. And in the shadows, Dr. Harry Griswold waited, shivering as much from anticipation as the bone-gnawing cold of the fog enshrouding the graveyard. Not right for even an aged murderer to go to his grave without a burnt word said over him. Aye, but that's the way you wanted it, Alf. Let's get on with it, Oscar. The old lady's got me some dinner waiting. The gravediggers hastily finished their work and drifted into the night. Then Dr. Griswold was left alone to his grisly task, murmuring to the unhearing. Forgive me for disturbing you, Vincent Coe. It's for my wife, for Lucille. You wouldn't understand about Lucille, the way I feel about her. It's a kind of madness, I know. You see, Coe, it had to be with you, a fresh corpse with a criminal's instincts. Any fear of discovery vanished as the physician reached his home, Lucille's castle, he called it, and drove to the rear, finally depositing his gruesome burden in the secret laboratory behind his office. Comfortable, Coe? This'll be your home for as long as I need you. Far more pleasant place than a grave, what? There, my friend, you're back on your way. You're on your way back to life. See, darling, I told you my call wouldn't take long. Long enough, Harry. I don't suppose you brought me a little surprise. Not yet, dearest. It'll take time. Please, Harry, don't crush my gown. How much time? Some weeks, I imagine, dearest. You must understand it's going to be a while before I collect my fees. A measly £4,000 for the emerald pendant. Surely you have that much. I spent everything for this home. The jewels, servants, you can have the world, darling. Just give me time. There was no talk of patience or waiting before you propose. I'm sick of excuses, Harry. Do you hear me? Sick! Desperation, fear that his adored Lucille might leave him, drove the physician to complete his project. Now, Coe, at my command, I order you to rise! It works. He obeys my every command. I can begin. Follow me, my zombie. I've given you life, that I may keep my wife. Like rhymes, Coe? No, you like neither rhyme nor reason, only obedience to my commands. Very well, Vincent. Remove a card from these files. Every patient I've ever had is there. Many owe me their lives. So I take only what belongs to me. You will select a new file each night, Coe, and go to them. Bring me their money, jewelry, valuables. It's done. And what's it to my conscience? Coe picks the victim. I don't even see the card. What I don't see, I can never confess to. Into the silent night, the living dead slowly stalks and nearly moving to the address on the file card. Crash! Eee! He was obeying his master's command, but murder was as instinctive to Vincent Coe as theft, as was clear to an anxious Griswold upon Coe's completion of the grim task. Lord, the bloodstains! It's like a dream or a nightmare! Yet Lucille is within a week of getting her precious emerald pendant if this keeps up. So night after night, Dr. Griswold sent Vincent Coe forth on his deadly mission, and night after night he returned with the fruits of his violence. A nice trinket, worth perhaps 300 pounds. Why couldn't my Lucille be satisfied with this? But Lucille Griswold was not a woman easily satisfied. The pendant, Harry! What about the pendant? Still collecting from your patients? It takes time, my darling, but it will be yours very soon. Tonight it ends. I'll have more than enough for Lucille's pendant. It will be over and Coe can be sent back to the grave. And at last, the next day, Lucille! Lucille, I've got it! Got what? The pendant? Oh, thank you, Harry dearest. It's just fabulous. How beautifully it will go with the coat. Coat? Which coat is that, sweetheart? The ermine coat, Harry. I know I told you about the ermine coat I priced at Murchison's. Only 2,500 pounds, darling. So, Coe, it's not over yet. Only Lucille, my Lucille, could make me go on with this. I hope you've picked a rich one, Vincent. Let's be done with it tonight. There was nothing left now but the waiting. The interminable waiting. Oh, Lucille, if only you know what I go through. The agony for you. Footsteps didn't take him long. Lord, what a mess. Must have put up quite a struggle, eh, Coe? Don't just stand there. Let's see what you have. The words caught in Griswold's throat and choked as his eyes caught the emerald green glint of the night's prize brought forth by the zombie. Lucille! No! For shame, Doc. Imagine forgetting your late wife had once been a patient with her name in your files. Ah, well, think of the money you'll save. Easy way to a tough surfboard. Hey, look who's riding the big one in tandem. It's Dave. What's happening? Last time I saw him, he was a boardless hodad like you and me. What gives, cut, buddy? How'd you dig the coins for this mean hunk of wood? Custom job, and I'm doing well to keep myself in smokes. If you think it looks good, why do you try it? Not now, Dad. Too winded from the smoke. Too winded from the smoke. I'd do well to paddle out through the breakers. You do well to quit burning up your pocket money on cigarettes. I did, and banked the cash instead. You're looking at what it got me, and man, I never get winded now. Makes sense. I'd trade a smoker's cough for a board like that. Let's give it a try. Maybe in a few months. Smoking doesn't pay. 5 cigarettes a day costs $32 or more a year. 10 cigarettes a day costs $64 or more a year. 20 cigarettes a day costs $128 or more a year. Why risk your health for cigarettes? Ah! Screaming your head off because you want more creepy? You can go to creepyuniverse.com. Grab your rifles, rabid readers. We're going on a hunting expedition into treacherous territory to seek out some really big game. You'll need all your nerve as we plunge into the lair of the swamp. Croft, this is crazy. Chasing around after some Indian legend. You can't be sure what we'll find, Douglas. Nobody's been this deep into the swamp before, right, Johnny? Somewhere in the distance came the loud rumble of approaching thunder. Flashes of heat lightning we're gonna try that again. Flashes of heat lightning brightened the night sky. John Kima eased up on the pole and let the dugout drift in a brief stretch of clear water. Already he was having regrets about the expedition. No white man, Mr. Croft. For centuries my people have made this area their home, isolated and primitive. But you're an educated man, Kiva. Do you believe this swamp god stuff? A heron screeched and winged skyward through the darkness. Then only the men's voices broke the layer of silence that hung over the swamp, the silence of anticipation, perhaps of the approaching storm. I believe any legend has its roots in fact. Something very real and very terrible stalks in this swamp, and Johnny's fixed it so you and I get first crack at it, Douglas. Eagles to elephants, I've bagged them all, Kima. Nothing in here can be that unusual. Unusual enough to level entire villages. Unusual enough that generations of my tribe have made sacrifices to appease it. Human sacrifices. Human sacrifice. Come off it, Kima. This day and age, if there's more than an oversized alligator around, I'll eat it. This swamp is old, deep, untouched by time. Past and present mean little here. I'm of a primitive and dying people. I've tried to change their ways. It was my hope the two of you could help. Don't get sore, Johnny. Douglas and I are top hunters. If anyone can nail your swamp god, we can. Thunder resounded overhead, and drops of rain began pelting the three men in the dugout. What's up? Why are we stopping? We can go no further. This is the place of sacrifice, the killing ground of the swamp god. It comes from beyond the trees. Looks peaceful now. This rain won't make waiting easy. Hate to have come all this way for nothing. What's that, Johnny? When the swamp god's sacrifice was prepared, a blast from this horn was sent to summon him forth. Momentarily, only the sound of the rain was audible in the swamp. Then the Indian guide's lips touched the old horn, filling the night with a long wail, echoing like the cries of a wounded animal, tortured and unearthly. Douglas, there in the bogs! Something stirring! The swamp's stifling air was rent by a huge thunderclap, quickly followed by the crackling brilliance of lightning, etching the area in an eerie glow. Tyrannosaurus! Kima was right! It survived time, nurtured on human sacrifice. Oh my god! Douglas, it's tremendous, we can't... These rifles are high-powered enough to stop anything. Fire, you fool! Fire! The guns, they're not firing! They're not firing! Grrrr! Oh Lord! It's devouring Croft! Croft's hideous, dying screams mingled with the savage sounds of the rampaging behemoth, sent Douglas thrashing through the murky water. Mud and slime below caught and grabbed at him, reducing his motion to that of a man in a dream. Kima, I thought that thing got you with the dugout. No, Mr. Douglas, I got away after sounding the horn. Good thing, too. You might have ended up like Croft. Blasted rifles. Fine weapons for years. How could they go wrong now? No bullets, Mr. Douglas. I removed them when I loaded the dugout. You did what? I don't understand. Why, Kima? What are you doing? No! Again, the hideous sound of the sacrificial horn rose through the swamp. Kima, why? The thing will hear it. Give me a hand. Help me out of here. That monster's coming. Please. It's as I said, Mr. Douglas. I'm your help with changing the ways of my people. They'll cease dying out from sacrifices. Hopelessly, Douglas clawed and scraped at the mud and grass of the bank, only to find the mire of the bottom slipping beneath his scrambling feet. Even as hot reptilian breath sprayed over him, above his own screams, he could hear John Kima's fading words. Since from now on, I'm using outsiders only. It appears Douglas is more self-sacrificing than I thought. Now, before the swamp god puts the bite on him, why don't you nibble at my next goodie? Famous monsters speak. Karloff tells you tales of... Okay, well, we looked at all these. All right. Prologue. I remember it vividly, as if it were yesterday. The endless wait and the bitter chill then, as the black sky changed slowly to gray, the dread flap of bat wings. Count Vriolac had returned, and my years of searching were at an end. Fear gripped me as I forced my way into the abandoned chateau, but not as tightly as the lust for revenge. The first rays of winter sun forced their way through cracks amid crevices of the dark, crumbling structure. As with methodical fury I made my search, until at last, in the very bowels of this place of decay and corruption, I uncovered the Count's resting place, the coffin of the monster who had hideously slain my brother. Did our fearful forward leave you thirsting for more blood, rabid readers? Then get ready to sink your fangs into the rest of this heart pounder and find out what's at stake for the Vampire Slayer. Walk! The baleful red-rimmed eyes popped open as the ancient lid crashed to the floor, a mask of hatred covering the pale, bloated face. My sweating palm clenched a mallet, and I drove the stake home. A momentary silence fell over the evening dinners at the captain's table on the liner Budapest. Amazing, Baron Alexei. Utterly amazing. With a stroke, Varlak's body crumbled into the dust. It should have been a century ago. The scene is forever etched in my mind. I've since devoted my life to the pursuit of the undead, seeking the vampire out wherever they are found and destroying them. I salute you, my dear Baron. I find your work most admirable. No, it's all filthy and disgusting, gloating over such violence and bloodletting. I won't listen to another word of it. Captain, that girl! Who? The Countess de Ville. But why should she be so upset? Acted like you might have been destroying humans instead of monsters. Intrigue flared in the Baron Alexei. The lovely Countess provoked his interest and dread. Madame de Ville, you won't find her on deck, Baron. Only leaves her cabin at night. Won't even take meals in the day. Her behavior at dinner. Now this. A girl so beautiful. Can it be? With each passing night, his suspicions grew. Her skin, so white and pale. The hair, long and flowing, could cover any wounds on her neck. Yet the taint of mystery seemed to make her beauty the more fascinating. Alexei could feel himself being drawn closer and closer. Countess, about dinner the other evening, I must apologize for saying anything to offend. I was so foolish to get so upset, Baron Alexei. Please come join me and call me Corin. Never had any woman exerted such an attraction for the Baron. His feelings became uncertain, his intentions no longer clear. We dock tomorrow morning, Corin. I must see you again. We could meet after disembarking, perhaps lunch. I've made other arrangements, Alexei. It's impossible. But tomorrow night I could have you for dinner at my home. Ooh, I wonder what she means by that. Alexei haunted the unloading, giving up when every passenger had departed, without Corin de Ville ever having been seen. Careful, you dolts, that's property of the Countess de Ville. The crate, almost the exact size of a coffin. You should really remove that. Won't it get in your way during dinner? Perhaps I had some intention of dining. Since I don't, it remains in place. Then what is your intention? To continue my life's work, Corin. Ridding the world of creatures like you. Now! The fear-stricken girl stumbled backwards, clawing and grasping it all around her as step by step Alexei relentlessly advanced. Vampire! Unholy fiend! Now suffer the kiss of the stake! Alexei! Please! No! Stop! The mirror! You're casting a reflection! You couldn't possibly be a vampire! Lord, what have I done? I must have been mad. Don't you see, poor darling? Since your brother was killed, it's become an obsession with you. You imagine vampires everywhere. Can't you abandon it? It's destroying your life. Consumed with shame, Alexei fled back to the solitude of his room for a sleepless night, followed by a day of reflection and decision. It's done. All my notes and studies. All the trappings of my delusions. Now perhaps I can be a man again, not a crazed neurotic. I've thought about everything you said, Corin. If you're still interested... Oh, Alexei, of course I want you. I destroyed everything. All the equipment I used in that obsessed, tormented existence. All behind me now. Alexei, who'd think that slender frame could have such strength? Her arms are so tight. I can't. Corin, my neck. What are you? Can't be Alexei's senses reeled. He sprawled backward, dizzy, weak, unable to stand or move without effort. A vampire? Oh, but I am, Alexei. We've wanted to stop you for years. How happy I am to be the one to do it. The room felt unsteady beneath Alexei, rocking and spinning. His breath came harder and shorter. It was difficult to think and speak, but the reflection, vampire, can't. I'm afraid I haven't played quite fair with you, dear. That wasn't me last night. You see, even on board ship, I neglected to mention I had... Somewhere a door was opening. Footsteps approached. Someone was moving into range of Alexei's dimming vision. A twin sister! Luckily, Colette has no reflection. Luckily, Colette has no reflection problem, you see. She's a ghoul. Remember your promise, Corin. For helping out last night, I get what's left when you're finished. Yeah! Looks like the Countesses are really bearing down on Alexei. After the way he acted, you wouldn't think they'd have him for dinner 2 nights in a row. Nice girls, though. Any of you two-headed fans ever want a double date? Look 'em up. Now, the most creepy and eerie mask ever. You can get an Uncle Creepy mask or a Cousin Eerie mask. This plant eats insects and bits of meat.
2 feet tall, Big Frankie monster kit. Giant-sized Frankenstein with arms that move. 3 famous monster kits. The Witch, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, The Bride of Frankenstein. World's only low-cost, all-electric movie projector. And a gruesome skull cup. Portable, lets you show monster movies anytime, anywhere. The Telltale Heart, the Beast with 5 Fingers, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, Creature from the Lagoon. And it seems like we have a little more here. Okay, 1962. So these weren't the 50s, these were the 60s. Okay. So, alright, guys. We're done with Eerie. We're completely done with the first volume of Eerie, but we're nowhere near done with Eerie. So, what's up next, horror fans? As I said, Vampirella Comics Magazine. Now, I know I said Creepy was going to be next, but we did Creepy last week, so I got a little confused. It happens. But it's going to be Eerie, Vampirella Magazine, and then Creepy. I know it's a little weird to do it, but that's the way we started, so that's the way I'm going to continue. So, alright, guys. Again, we're expecting the Vampirella Magazine next, and I hope you guys will stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time, guys, on Grimm's Comics Corner. I'm out.